Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guten Tag, or guten Nacht, bienvenue, bienvenido, ohayou gozaimasu, shalom, namaste, aloha. Welcome all of our friends around the world. Welcome everyone here. And we are delighted to be hosting the fourth in our 10 Da series, Da Guang Ming, Greatest Light. So the whole title of this is Using Divine Light to Transform Your Life in 2017. So what we will share with you this weekend are the secrets of how we can actually use divine light to transform so that we can have the kind of life that we want to have in 2017. We go through our life and it seems like we get hit by outside forces. All kinds of things happen that we don't anticipate in our world, in our lives, and we sometimes lose track of the fact that we are actually the writers, producers, and directors of our own life. So this will be a chance to refocus our attention and our energy and to learn new and ancient wisdom about how light actually does that. One of the things that Master Sha says over and over and over again is that light heals, prevents illness, rejuvenates, prolongs life, and transforms every aspect of life, including business, finances, and relationships. So that's all well and good if you know how to apply that in your life. Otherwise, it's just kind of a good idea and it sounds nice. So what we're going to do tonight and this weekend is really get into the nuts and bolts of that. How is it that light could actually transform anything? You know, we walk into a room. I'm sorry. It's crackling, isn't it?
Can you check the connection of it?
With apologies to those listening on the webcast. Okay, the screw is tight. I can move this back on my belt a little bit, so maybe it's more out of the way. Okay, let's see if we can get by without the crackle. So, as I was saying, I'm sitting here in a room that has stage lights here and here, that has overhead lights here, and we think, okay, so that's light. How does that transform our life? Right? I mean, we understand how it transforms a dark room. When you walk into a dark room, all you have to do is light one candle, and you can illuminate the whole room. But what does that have to do with creating our life the way that we want it? So that's what we're going to be answering tonight and tomorrow in a very real, very practical way. So before we do that, I want to bring us all into the spiritual condition, what Master Sha calls the hero condition, or the divine or Tao condition. So we're going to use 4 powers, and I think most people who are watching and listening are familiar with these. Body power, sitting up straight with our feet flat on the floor, and as we're able, with our back away from the back of the chair, so that the chi can flow down through the Waijiao, the big space in the back of our body. Where we put our hands is where the healing goes. It's also where the energy goes. It's also where the light goes. So we're going to put our hands in the Soul Light Era prayer position, which is to put the left hand in front of the heart chakra or message center. And it's best if you can leave just a little space between your chest and your hand. And then the right hand goes in front of the left hand, also leaving a little space between the two hands. Now, what does this do? This actually sends light into our heart chakra, our message center. The fourth chakra, for those who are really new, a chakra is an energy center. You can imagine the heart chakra as a fist-sized energy center in the center of your chest, behind the sternum or breastbone. It is the love center. It is what Master Sha calls the message center, because it's the spiritual communication center. It is also the karma center. Much of our karma we carry in our fourth chakra. So by putting our hands in this position, our left hand is sending light into our heart chakra. When the light goes into our heart chakra, it dissolves some or many of the blockages in our heart chakra. How do we know if we have blockages in our heart chakra? If we are not always open-hearted and loving, if we are not always in spiritual communication clearly and at a very high level with the divine, the Tao, the source, if we are ever troubled by impurities in our thoughts and our feelings, then we have blockages in our heart chakra, which pretty much describes almost everyone here on earth. There may be a few rare exceptions, and when we meet people who are exceptions to that, we are very, very blessed. So if you close your eyes and look, as Master Sha often says, when we close our eyes and look, we're looking with our third eye, with our spiritual senses. You might actually begin to get a sense of the light coming out of your hand into your message center. Now, what's happening with the other hand? We've got the right hand. The right hand is aligning energy with Mother Earth, with your heart center, and with heaven. So you may also get a sense of being pulled into a more balanced and more harmonized condition. So already we're using light, and we'll talk more and more about how we use light tonight and throughout the weekend. Now, another way of using light is mind power, creative visualization. Now, this often brings up a lot of thoughts and feelings for people, because not everyone's third eye is fully open, and not everyone's third eye is even partially open. So we all have different experiences of what visualization looks and feels like. If our third eye channel is wide open, when we visualize, we see heaven's movies. We see all kinds of images, they're moving, they're talking. It's literally like watching a movie or like watching an alternate reality. For others, we may see pictures or images. For others, we may just have a sense or awareness or knowing. So don't worry about how it shows up for you. Just allow your mind to gently focus on a ball of light, even if it just feels like, oh, I'm just imagining it. That's fine. Many, many, many wonderful blessings in this world have come out of what people have imagined. So it's fine if your experience is, I'm imagining a ball of golden light in my message center, my heart chakra. Or if you're seeing it there. Or if you're feeling it. Some people will feel it like a warmth or a tingling or another kind of physical sensation. Some people will have an essence of it. However you experience it, gently hold your concentration in your heart chakra, being aware of a golden ball of light there. Now we use soul power. Soul power is connecting heart to heart, soul to soul. We do it by saying hello. So please follow along silently with me. Dear soul, mind, and body of our beloved Master Sha, we love you, honor you, and appreciate you. We love, honor, and appreciate all of our spiritual mothers and fathers, every spiritual teacher who has helped us along our spiritual journey in this lifetime or any other lifetime. We give our special gratitude to Master Sha for bringing us the wisdom, knowledge, and blessings that we will receive this weekend. And we give our greatest love and gratitude to acknowledge the gifts that we receive. Dear soul, mind, and body of the divine, the Tao, the source, all layers of heaven, we love you, honor you, and bow down to you. We recognize the presence of love and good that rules the universe. We recognize the presence of the divine, the Tao, the source. And we recognize this presence in everything around us and at the very core of who we are. We bow down to the divine, the Tao, the source, as a symbol of our greatest love and greatest gratitude. You are our very life and breath. You are the spark that brings us into being. We are one with you and through you with all things. Help us to open our minds and our hearts and our souls even further, to go deeper and deeper into the wisdom of Guang Ming. to create the life that we wish to live in 2017. The life that we're here meant to experience. Help us to fulfill our spiritual and worldly path. To be true servants of humanity and all souls. To give love, healing, and blessing wherever we go. To be an instrument of your peace. To spread love, peace, and harmony with every thought, every word, every action. Dear soul, mind, and body, of all saints on duty, all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all lamas and gurus, all angels and archangels, all saints and prophets, all ascended masters, kahunas, and other beings of light. We love you, honor you, and bow down to you. We invite you to be with us this whole weekend. We ask for your blessings. We ask for your guidance and wisdom. Help us to have a deeper understanding of how to use divine light to transform our lives. Help us put this in practical application, to leave behind everything that is not working well for us, and to step into a glorious, beautiful, powerful new future, filled with love and light, filled with the infinite possibilities of the divine. Dear soul, mind, and body, of all of the blessings we have received from Master Sha and his worldwide representatives, from the divine, the Tao, the source, and beyond, all our treasures, please turn on now. Join together as one to uplift all participants so that we might all be blessed together. We might all grow and learn together. And we might all serve better to bring love, peace, and harmony to Mother Earth. As appropriate, bless each one of us, all the people who are watching and listening, all our animal friends who join us, all the souls in the soul world who join this weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And together we sing the Divine Soul Song of love, peace, and harmony to bring greater blessings into our life. Lula, lula, li. Lula, lula, la, li. Lula, lula, li, lula. Lula, li, lula. Lula, li, lula. Wo ai wo xin he ling. rang hao mu shi shang. Shanai ping an he xie. Shanai ping an he xie. I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. How? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Leaving your eyes closed for a moment. See if you can sense the shift in light. The light for each of us is different now than when we started. Just see if you can be aware of that in any way. Whether it's just a knowing or a sense. You might notice it in your third eye vision. You might feel it in your body. You might just feel more relaxed and peaceful. Just notice how it is for you as we go deeper and deeper into the secrets of Guang Ming. So just allow your eyes, when you're ready, to gently come open back in this moment in your physical space. Allowing your eyes to gently come open back in this moment, in this physical space. And for those whose eyes are still closed, allow them now to come gently open and for you to be back in this physical space, back in this time. Some of us really, really like hanging out in that other space. We have to very lovingly encourage coming back. So Master Marilyn, as I was leading that, Heaven was saying that they would like to speak a little on this topic, and they were guiding me to ask you to please be the vehicle for that, to start with a flow. If you would be so kind. Thank you. Master Marilyn is part of our team here at Master Sha Dao Healing Center in San Francisco. She has been appointed by Master Sha as a Dishen, which means Mother Earth Saint. So very, very high blessing and appointment, and we're very, very lucky to have Master Marilyn to offer her teachings. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And we're very, very grateful to Master Sha for having done this.
Indeed.
So, what Heaven has to say about Guang Ming?
And
yes.
Yeah.
Leave it abroad. Oh, okay.
Because they're wanting
we might
to
be here a few days.
They're wanting to talk, and who am I to set boundaries around that?
Okay. Our most beloved sons and daughters, most beloved students of the one you call Master Sha, We are so grateful to have this opportunity to share with you. The wisdom, the significance, the practices, the transformation possible with Da Guang Ming is truly beyond comprehension or human words. This Da is light without limits, without boundaries, without conditions. Just the one phrase, without boundaries, has so much significance and potential for you. You are aware of the light within Mother Earth. Some of you are aware of light from other planets. Most of you are aware of light from this galaxy. To tell you that Da Guang Ming is greatest light, light without limits, means that you have the possibility of receiving the transformation that light brings from countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. There are planets, stars, galaxies, and universes at a very, very high level spiritually and in every other way. Da Guang Ming has the possibility of making that present for you at your level so that you can use what is present to you. Some of the questions, challenges that create blockages in other areas, in other galaxies, they either do not exist or they are considered to be so simple. To connect with Da Guang Ming is to connect with all this possibility. To allow the light to transform your frequency and vibration. The sentences in the book Soul Over Matter are sentences that you could reflect on for many lifetimes. I am within Tao light. To help you to understand a little bit what that means, think of the times that you have gone swimming and you have been inside the pool. Every movement, every breath, every aspect of who you are is affected by the being in the pool. For those who know how to swim well, or just a little bit, the experience of your body being almost weightless can be so very pleasant. This is just a very simple way of helping you to appreciate how profound it is to be inside Tao light. When you are held within this light, every aspect of who you are is transformed. Tao light is inside me. Tao, the source, the creator, universal laws and principles, and more, is inside you. The possibilities present to you by connecting with this are so extraordinary. Tao is creator. Tao is inside you. You have the possibility of creating all that is needed for you to be who you are truly meant to be, and so much more. Whole body is transparent. The only way this can happen is for blockages to be gone, to be released, to be transformed. Not just a few blockages, but all blockages. As blockages are transformed, the body becomes transparent. You become as clear as a most beautiful crystal that radiates only the purest light. This is offered to you. There are practices that you have been given. There is a very simple chant to help you to progress in having all that has been said and more become part of your life. To become your life. For you to become Guang Ming. That is the one sentence secret. You are what you chant. What we have shared with you is just the smallest part. It is like the smallest tip of an iceberg. But it gives you an idea of how powerful, how transforming of every aspect of your life Guang Ming is. And Guang Ming is an unconditional servant. Guang Ming is eager to serve you well, to have all of this and more manifest in you and through you. To have you embody Guang Ming. There are teams to assist with all of this. There are teams most especially to assist with mindsets, attitudes, beliefs, ego, and attachments. There are teams to assist with heart blockages. It is actually a very real possibility for those who open your hearts and deeply connect to experience profound transformation throughout the course of this weekend. Those who register, at the moment that you register, you have started the process of transformation. Your teams have started to assist you in a new way. Some of you may even be experiencing the difference in your frequency and vibration, because the frequency and vibration of Guang Ming is very pure. It is quite exquisite. It is powerful and gentle. This gives you just the smallest hint of what is possible for you through this workshop. You are so abundantly blessed and so deeply loved. How? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful. So, there's a few things in there that might help to have a little elaboration. No. Thank you.
I am here to serve.
I love that. I love the look she gave me. She's like, okay. Thank you. So, let's see. I think we'll use the whiteboard for this. Well, actually, before I put this away, so this is where everything starts for anybody who may be very new to this. Many of us have had this teaching over and over again, but one of the things I know for myself, and I know I've seen in students I've worked with, is when things are repeated over and over again, we take them in on different levels. Master Roger was talking about working with one of his students, somebody that he had invited to come to things, and he was inviting him to a workshop. He said, I don't want to go to another Master Sha workshop. He just says the same thing over and over and over again. And Master Roger looked at him and he said, really? And which time did you get it?
That's a great
So, just in case we might get something that we haven't gotten before, I'm going to go over again. These are the 10 Da that Master Sha talks about. Da means greatest in Chinese, in Mandarin. So it's greatest. It is bigger than biggest. There's no limit to it. You could call it like I is love. Greatest love would be a translation of this. If it works for you to say divine love, you could translate it that way. Tao love, source love, infinite love, universal love. All of those would be acceptable translations for that. Same thing, Da Quan Shu, greatest forgiveness. So Master Sha has said that greatest love, really everything else comes out of that. And everything else is an aspect of greatest love. I suspect that it works in all the different directions also. If you go to Da He She, greatest harmony you could say is the center of all of this, and everything else is an aspect of greatest harmony. Greatest enlightenment. Greatest enlightenment is the center, and everything upwards is an aspect of greatest enlightenment. I think they're all so intertwined. They are all like facets of a diamond. So you've got this diamond that's radiating light, and if you look at it one way, you see it through the lens of Da-I. You look at it another way, you see it through the lens of Da Guang Ming. You look at it another way, you see it through the lens of Da Chang Sheng. But it's the same sparkle that's there. It's the same divine essence, Tao essence, source essence that's there. And in my experience with Master Sha, everything he does is to try to get us to return to that essence. To return to the essence of the divine, the essence of the Tao, the essence of the source. Another way of saying that is to become one with the divine, to become one with the Tao, to become one with the source. When that happens, we transcend all earthly limitations. So, Nick, at the end of the weekend, on Sunday, when I'll reveal to you how I've accomplished that. I wish I could. We are learning right along with you, all of the divine channels. We are learning right along with you, and Master Sha is leading the charge. So, Da-I, greatest love. Da Quan Shu, greatest forgiveness. Da Sibei, greatest compassion. Da Guang Ming, greatest light. Da Qin Bei, greatest humility. Da He She, greatest harmony. Da Chang Sheng, greatest flourishing. Da Gan In, greatest gratitude. Da Fu Wu, greatest service. Da Yuan Man, greatest enlightenment. So one of the main focuses of our teachings this year will be the 10 Da. And, it's an interesting thing because what I'm noticing with these, so what happened is early last fall, we received guidance that we needed to teach workshops on this because our wisdom of this needed to go deeper. Now, what's interesting is it's been harder to get people to enroll in these workshops than our other workshops. And I think what that is we're sort of in a catch-22. I think the reason that people aren't jumping right into them is because they don't have that deep connection and sense of, oh, I get this, I know what this is, I really want this. So, so people are lacking in that, but the reason that we're doing them is because people don't have that deep sense and connection to it. So our job tonight is to get everyone who's watching on the webcast, everybody who's listening to this introduction, to understand how absolutely valuable it is to spend time going deeply into these 10 aspects of the divine. I can tell you from what I know from studying with different enlightened teachers around the world and different traditions, there are masters who have spent their entire life and many lifetimes just trying to go into one aspect of this. None of us have gone anywhere close to deep enough. We're sort of skimming the surface. Like, oh yeah, greatest love. Love's good. I like love. There's so much more for us to experience. So that's what we're going to be doing this weekend. And we've had a weekend around Da-I that all of the participants were like, this was so valuable. I'm so glad I came. I don't think there was one person in the workshop who didn't have a deep experience. This is what we're going to be doing with Da Guang Ming this weekend. We've done Da Quan Shu, Da Sibei, this weekend Da Guang Ming. So I want to talk a little bit about light. I think this came up in Master Marilyn's flow. And I want to go a little deeper into it, but, from just an aspect of understanding what is light. So, here I am, and I am not an art major. So, please join with me in spirit of what I am attempting to do here. Okay, it looks a little more like a monkey than a human being. But okay, give him some hair. Poor guy. Okay. The most important thing here, actually, I'm going to, just to make him look a little more human, we'll give him a blue iris. And inside the iris is a black pupil.
Looks like you might have some thyroid.
He might. So, bless his soul. He is here to serve, and we're grateful for his service. Okay. So, we as human beings have eyeballs. We have 2 of them, most of us. And our eyes register things like red, orange, most of us, I should say, register red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple and violet, which most of us recognize as the colors of the rainbow. Now, what that actually is when we see those is there is a frequency and vibration. So usually what's happening is white light hits this board. Right now we've got white light hitting that board from all around. We've got 2 lights there, we've got lights overhead. If those weren't here, we would be sitting in a dark room and we would say we can't see anything. Even though this would still be here, right? If I turned out all the lights, this would still be here. But we'd say, oh, we don't see that. We might even say it doesn't exist. I can't see it. I don't know that there's a whiteboard there. I don't know that it has a red line on it. But we have these things called eyeballs. Now, if you're colorblind, you also wouldn't see that. Or you might see it as something other than red, other than what the rest of us all agree is red, right? So red is just an agreement that there's something that we all see like this, which we actually all see slightly different. But we've all agreed that this is what we're going to call red. That is, if we're English speakers. If we're French speakers, we call it rouge. So white light comes over here, and an aspect of the white light bounces off of this part of the board, comes to our eyeballs, it goes through the optic nerve and into our brain, and we say that frequency and vibration is red. So the light that's coming through here, white light, is a whole bunch of frequencies and vibrations, right? And the frequency, so they're coming out of this light, right? Frequencies and vibrations, frequencies and vibrations, frequencies and vibrations, frequencies and vibrations. And they come over here, and only some of them get to bounce off of that. And those go over here, and they bounce. What it means, okay, so they bounce over here, and the eyeball picks them up. Some bounce over here, and they're moving at a different frequency and vibration, and our eye sees them as orange. Others are moving at a different frequency and vibration, and our eye sees them as green. Others are moving at a different frequency and vibration. We see them as blue, purple. Now, what do I mean when I say frequency and vibration? This is going to get a little sciencey, but not much. Okay? This is pretty basic science. So it shouldn't be nothing to be afraid of. And I had science teachers in high school that actually made it fun. So I'm going to try and make it fun for you too. Okay? So, whoops, it's not really a peak. They're waves. So waves can go like this, just like the ocean. Some days waves go like that. Some days waves go like this. Sometimes waves go like this. Sometimes waves go like this. Okay, so what am I drawing here is the amplitude and the frequency. So amplitude is how big is the wave this way, right? So you can have a little tiny wave that's going zzz. You can have a wave that's going zoom, 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 right? So this is a very small amplitude. This is a very big amplitude compared. Now there could be a wave that's bigger than the Earth. In which case this wave would look pretty small, right? It's all relative. Make sense so far? Okay, that's amplitude. Who knew you were going to get a science lesson tonight, right? Now, frequency is how often over time, because this line down here represents time. So let's say this is over 1 second, let's say 5 seconds. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 in 5 seconds. But this one over 5 seconds is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? And now you've got, it's gone up and down maybe 700 times in 5 seconds. Whereas this one's only gone up and down 5 times in 5 seconds. Does that make sense? So the frequencies is how many times does it go up and down in the same period of time. So a high frequency, it goes up and down a whole bunch of times in 5 seconds. A low frequency, it goes up and down not many times in 5 seconds. So that's what we mean by frequency and amplitude. The differences in this are actually what makes red, orange, green, blue, purple. That's all it is. It's the same thing. It's light, but it's light at a different frequency and vibration. Frequency and vibration are the terms that Master Shah uses. When I was in school studying this, frequency and amplitude are the terms that they use. But for our purposes, we'll just use the terms that are in Soul, Mind, Body, Science System, the frequency and vibration. So that's why we see different colors. Does that make sense to everybody? Because none of the rest of what we talk about is going to make sense if this much we don't understand, that there's different frequencies and vibrations, and that's why we see different colors. Good so far? Okay. If it's for anybody on the webcast, I'm losing you, please put your questions, comments, concerns in the chat box. Our wonderful AV volunteer Matt will keep an eye on that, and he'll alert me if there's something that I need to pay attention to. Okay? So I'm gonna assume and just call it out if you see something there. But I'm gonna go forward from here. So here's the interesting thing. When you think of light, would you say light is something that we can see?
To a certain extent, but I keep hearing.
Let me have you so that everyone can hear you.
To a certain,
Because that's also a frequency
Yes.
vibration.
to a certain extent, but I keep hearing constantly that human beings are only capable of perceiving a small percentage of the light spectrum, very small percentage of it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That is the correct A+ answer. So it is true. Mostly what we think about as light is the visible spectrum. Just like mostly what we think is going on Earth is what we can see with our eyes, taste with our tongue, feel with our hands, hear with our ears, right? But I would say Master Sha's soul is in this room. I can't see that with these eyes. I can't hear that with these ears. I can't taste it. I can't touch it. But something in me knows he's here. Something in me knows there is a divine, a God, a Tao, a source. I can't see it. I can't touch it. I can't feel it. But I know it's there. In fact, most spiritual teachers would say, these are what actually confuse us. It's our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, and thinking that whatever we can touch, see, and experience in the physical realm is what's real, that confuses us into thinking that what we can't see, touch, and feel isn't real. That doesn't exist. Many scientists will tell you that everything we teach here does not exist. That we are completely deluded. Some would call us, they would say we have mental conditions that are clinically diagnosable because we're hearing voices and we're seeing things that don't exist. They have a word. They have a word for that.
Yes.
It's actually a very, very thin line between spiritual experiences and things that people might diagnose as not being in touch with reality. So early on I decided that whatever I experience, if it helps me to be more loving and to be more helpful in the world and happier, then I don't really care about any labels that somebody else puts on it, and it works for me. So what scientists and all of us do agree on is that there is visible light and there is also invisible light. And that invisible light is both at higher frequencies and at lower frequencies than what we can see with our eyes. So who can name an invisible light?
Infrared.
Infrared.
Light.
What was that?
Violet light.
Violet we can see,
Well, no,
but you're close.
Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet we can't see. So because you go from violet here, if I remember right, and I could be wrong on this one, but if I'm remembering right, when violet, one of the next steps up from violet is then ultraviolet, hence the name.
All visible light is about 700 nanometers in what one wavelength.
700 nanometers.
And infrared is actually less.
It's less?
It's less.
Oh, okay.
It's
all right.
less. It's counterintuitive, but it is less.
Okay, so Matt's telling me that all visible light is around the range of 700 nanometers, and that ultraviolet is actually of less frequency, a lower frequency. So, infrared, do you know if it's higher or lower?
Not ultraviolet is less. Ultraviolet is a higher frequency.
Oh, it's a higher frequency. I misunderstood you.
Infrared is
a lower frequency.
Oh, that makes sense.
Then that makes, okay, I am remembering more correctly then. Okay, so then down here we have infrared, which is a lower frequency vibration. Okay, so now the same thing, interestingly enough, is true about sound. Sound is a frequency and vibration, right? When I speak, my vocal cords vibrate. The air that's carrying the vocal cords is rippled. It's ruffled in a way that a frequency and vibration comes out that then hits your ear. It goes through the auditory nerve into the brain, and you perceive it as sound. If you have hearing, right? If you have hearing loss, it doesn't exist. There is no sound. Now that doesn't mean that my vocal cords aren't moving and they're not pushing the air in a different way. So sound also, and then there's sound So then there's auditory levels of sound, just like there are of colors. Then there's invisible sound, we might call it, or like a dog whistle. Right? If you blow on a dog whistle, you don't hear a thing. But the dog comes running. Because it's at a pitch that dogs' ears can interpret, but our ears can't. So we only have a limited range of hearing and a limited range of seeing. And it's all frequency and vibration. Everybody with me so far? Is it making sense? Is this helpful to think about what divine light is? So divine light. So what are we talking about when we talk about divine light? Divine light is within visible light and within all light. But it is not perceived by our eyes. It's not perceived by anything we can measure yet. Now, if a frequency and vibration can't be measured yet, does that mean it doesn't exist? The answer is no, and I'll tell you why. 200 years ago, we could not measure the frequency and vibration of microwaves. Correct?
Yes.
Does that mean that it wasn't until 1970 when microwave ovens came out that microwaves started existing? Of course not. 200 years ago, microwaves existed, just like they do now. But 200 years ago, you couldn't cook your lunch with it. Now, many people throughout the world, children who are growing up now probably cannot imagine a world where microwaves weren't part of life. Right? For those of us who remember microwave ovens being introduced, that was an amazing thing. That was a revolutionary breakthrough. You could cook a roast in 30 minutes. I remember there was a joke about somebody being so hungry that they stood outside a microwave going, "Hurry, hurry, hurry!" And we all thought that was hysterical. You know, how hysterical, 30 seconds? You can't wait 30 seconds for your food? Now we're all doing it. We're all like, hurry, hurry, what's wrong? This is taking 2 minutes. It's too long. So divine frequency exists. I feel thoroughly convinced from everything that I've seen that divine frequency and vibration exists. And it comes in the form of light. But it's not light that's visible to these eyes. Right? It's not 100% correct to say to that, because it actually is in this light. It's in everything. But our eyes aren't catching it. They're not picking it up. Make sense so far? Yes? Okay. Any questions? Questions, comments, concerns? Does your heart already know this?
I can say one thing.
Sure.
Before the workshop started this evening, I could see in the Guang calligraphy, there was light around the actual word light. And I could see it with my eyes open, so I don't ever see that when I'm in here, but tonight I saw that, so
Great.
My heart knows that much.
So that means your third eye channel is opening. So we have a channel inside of us that goes from our Ming acupuncture point, which is more or less in the center of our lower back, goes up through our message center that we already talked a lot about, up into our brain and third eye. I hope I'm remembering correctly. That's not one of the ones that goes up the spinal column, is it? I think it goes through the message center. Please forgive me if I'm saying this wrong. But what we do know is that this channel, when it's open, allows us to see beyond what our physical eyes can see. So she had an experience of seeing the light around this symbol, Guang. because that calligraphy is a special sacred calligraphy that's full of divine light at a very high frequency. So we also might see that when we see auras, right? So some people see auras around people, and they might see different colors in the aura. But other people don't see that. It's because they're not tuned to that frequency. So we can actually train ourselves to become perceptive to frequencies and vibrations that we hadn't been perceptive to prior to doing some work on it. We can open our third eye so that we can see these images and this light. So, Da Guang Ming is greatest light. Da Guang Ming is a frequency and vibration that permeates everything. That is what we're using to transform our life. Why can it transform all life? One reason is because it's part of all life. There's Da Guang Ming in these markers. There's Da Guang Ming in this chair. There's Da Guang Ming in us. There's Da Guang Ming in our finances, in our businesses, in our relationships, in everything that we can see and everything that we can't see.
Well, and then I
Go
have
ahead.
an interesting question. So,
Can we get you a mic?
yeah, let me see if I can get this one. Well, maybe it's quicker.
You want this one?
Thank you, Matt.
So, here's the thing. So, ultraviolet is more frequent, and then infrared is less frequent. So, what I'm thinking, so what would you be? Well, I guess the higher the frequency, the better the vibration. I mean, everything puts out a different frequency, and so. What are you aiming for? Things with a higher frequency or a lower frequency, or does it make any difference than what you know from the
Sure.
visible light?
Good question. And I think actually Master Rulin's the one who's going to end up answering that question for us. we don't actually have an answer to that yet. We talk about it as a higher vibration. And what Master Shah has said a number of times is that the higher the frequency of the blessings that he gives, the more subtle they are. He says, don't expect the tsunami.
Oh yeah, because it would make sense
It's-
if it had the frequency was less, it would be like bigger pulses would be coming in, and otherwise it'd be like just so many it'd be a small pulse, or you barely feel, almost like.
Can everyone hear you on the...
Well, almost like a straight line moving in rather than individual.
Maybe. I can tell you I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what the wavelength of Da
individual.
Guang Ming looks like. I think it is well beyond our science at this point, in terms of what we can measure and what we can verify. There are Kirlian photography, I think it's called, that people use to photograph auras. Some people say that's real, some people say it's not. I don't have an opinion or a knowledge one way or another. I mean, I can always check my guidance, but, it's fun. It's great. It can give us insights to see those pictures. Let's get you the mic again.
There have been well-documented scientific studies, and I've been to a number of workshops on the Kirlian photography.
Great.
And in the experiments, they photographed emotions. And, for instance, anger is a bright red. So emotions correspond to specific colors
In the
and
Kirlian
wavelengths.
photography.
Yes, in Kirlian.
Okay, cool.
And illnesses show up in certain ways in the Kirlian photography.
Great, wonderful. Okay, good. So our science is moving forward. That's wonderful. You know, there's a lot of research that's been done with Harvard and Stanford, and I'm not sure which other schools, along with the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan Buddhist organization that he represents. They are studying his highest level monks. They're doing brain scans. And they're looking at the frequency and vibration of their brains and how it changes during meditation. And that's something that they're showing. There is absolutely a different frequency and vibration that's happening. So our science is getting closer and closer to this. Now, for our purposes, do we need to know the science? No. It's not necessary at all. Is it kind of fun to know? For some of us. You know, I love Soul Mind Body Science System, and I think when Master Rulin was here, we had a better idea of how we can apply spiritual principles for our life. Wouldn't you say that's true? Any of you go to Master Rulin's talks? Would you say that's true that you?
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome talk. So, let me just check in. Are there any questions, comments, concerns on the webcast that I should address?
Okay. Well, let's see. Master Jeffrey has some clarification. He is right that the frequency of visible light changes a little bit. It's not all right at that 700 nanometers. But so I'll go ahead and Master Jeffrey writes in, he says that to clarify, red light has a frequency of 400 trillion cycles per second. I believe Matt was referring to the wavelength in nanometer, a related but different concept. Well, actually, a nanometer, that's the way it's reported, at least when I studied. I mean, I don't know. And that was in chemistry. They did it. So it ranges from about 400 to 700, depending on whether you're red light or violet light.
Okay, it's all good. All of this we're going to take this as just a general idea so that we can talk about it.
Don't quote me as being, absolutely perfect on this.
No problem.
That was, 30 years ago that I learned that. So
no problem. We really just want the general concepts to understand what we're doing. Anything else on the? And thank you, Master Jeffrey.
No questions. Robin Brent says, "Love the science parts. Thank you."
Okay, great. Thank you, Robin. So this is an interesting number: 400 trillion cycles per second. I mean, most of us can't even imagine 400 trillion, right? That's like, a Googleplex. How many is that? 400 trillion. So, we know that's a lot. So you've got a lot per second, which means over this time of 1 second, this has gone up and down 400 trillion times.
And I guess it's all traveling at the speed of light. So, a nanometer, yeah.
I think it's safe to assume that light travels at the speed of light.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is great. So we all get the idea now of what light is. Light is a frequency and vibration. Well, a number of you mentioned that you were here for Master Rulin's talks. Guess what happens in the realm of quantum physics? So, let's see. So, I'm going to draw my other favorite drawing of people. The human being, right? Physical body. Within the human being are systems, like our respiratory system. That includes the nose the trachea, the lungs. Then we have the organs, which are the ones I just mentioned. So let's say the lungs, right, are organs of the system. Within the organ are cells. Within the cells are cell units like the nucleus, the mitochondria, the protoplasm, the I used to know more names of parts of the cell, but there's all these different parts of the cell. Golgis, yes, Golgis. Then within those are RNA and DNA. RNA and DNA is made up of molecules. Molecules are made up of atoms. Atoms are made of subatomic particles. And when you start getting down to the level of the smallest particles, something interesting happens. Sometimes they appear like a particle, and sometimes they appear like a wave. They are both and neither. This is what separates quantum physics from other natural, I think they call it natural physics. So then you've got the smallest matter appearing as waves, like light. So what quantum physics has found is that everything that we think is solid matter is actually just a field of waves. So everything is actually a field. And in her book, she goes into that she actually gives formulas for fields. And I said, well, how can you quantify that? And she started explaining to me how you can put a number on the field of something. And that things that are more in alignment with the divine are a higher frequency field than things which are more out of alignment with the divine. And there are people who say you can measure this in, like the saints. The Mother Teresa has a certain frequency in her field that's different than a Buddha has a different frequency in the Buddha field that's different than someone who's not a Buddha. That there's these different frequencies in our fields. Now, how this makes sense to me, I've been around enlightened masters. I've been around somebody who was very fearful and was holding me up at gunpoint. They had different fields around them, in my experience. And their fields very much changed my field. In the first case, in a very beautiful way. In the second case, not so pleasant. You know? So we are all fields. And within us are fields, right? So every little subatomic particle has a field. If you can imagine, we have how many trillion brain cells, right? Is it billions or trillions? I can never remember. With a B, okay. So you have billions of brain cells. Each of those has RNA, DNA, molecules, atoms, subatomic particles, particles, and waves. You know, you've got to be in the trillions, quadrillions, septillions. All of these have a field, and they affect each other, and they make up the whole field of who and what we are. So now you bring divine light into that. Divine light is coming in with a particular frequency. So as I mentioned, you have an enlightened master standing over here. You have a very fearful, very emotionally upset person with a gun holding you up at gunpoint over here. two very different frequencies and vibrations, two very different fields. You can see that that's going to have an effect on you. Now imagine you're standing in front of a pure field of divine light. You're standing in front of God. You're standing in front of the Tao, the divine, in its purest form. What do you think that's going to do to your field?
Well, if one is aware of that and open to it, it would raise your vibration quite a bit, raise up your frequency,
Right.
Certainly change your energetic field.
I would even go so far as to say, even if you weren't aware of it, if you suddenly found yourself in front of the pure Tao, it would have an effect on you, even if you weren't aware of it. Right? Now, you're right. If you're more open, it's going to have more of an effect. Mm-hmm. If you have more closure or more blockages, it will have less effect. True? Make sense?
Yes, but the person who's closed down would not be able to perceive that at all.
Perhaps. Yeah. Or they might be really closed down and they get hit by it and they're like, oh my, what just happened? They might even say, I feel sick. I feel nauseous. Right? That might be their experience of it. And somebody else might be standing in that same light going, I am in extreme and utter bliss and I never want to come back to the reality that I left again.
Well, right now, a lot of New Age spiritual teachers are saying that there's a lot of energy coming into the planet. And there was recently some gamma rays coming in and surrounding the planet that could be measured, but the leaders in New Age spiritual groups, various teachers, said that these gamma waves would serve to awaken humanity and further progress human evolution. It was part of, and they're totally convinced and that there's going to be a mass awakening within the next 10 years, say, of humanity. But that many people are asleep, but some will be kind of hit and not know what hit them. It will serve some people to suddenly awaken them, but like you say, they'll be confused, sick, feel sick, not know what hit them.
Could be.
That's what I'm hearing.
My first spiritual teacher back in the 80s said, the energy is going to keep going up. You just watch. It's going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up. If you are meditating, if you are grounded and centered and in your spiritual self, you will rise up with it. It'll be like surfing the big waves. Mm-hmm. She said, if you're not, it's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to just bounce you around. You're going to be up and down and all over the place. Now, I got that message in 1981, 82, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I watched, and I'm like, well, by Gumby, she sure seems to know what she was talking about, because as I look at the world, it does seem to me like things are getting even more and more spun out there. Mm-hmm. And those who are practicing spiritually are having incredible breakthroughs. Mm-hmm. And the veil, that they talk about the veil between heaven and earth being thinner. Mm-hmm. So I think all of these things are happening. And what Master Sha teaches is that we are going through a time of Mother Earth transition. And that we will see more disruptions and more upheavals in all levels. Physical, emotional, spiritual, cultural, political, financial, like just in all different areas. And that our job is to be the healers in the middle of that. To be people who can always offer all of this no matter what craziness is happening. So when we go through a collapse in the finances, like we did over the last 10 years, where we had the biggest recession in the United States. I know many of our viewers are watching all around the world. Many countries were hit. I know the United States was hit very hard. Did we respond with these 10 qualities? You know, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Right? Some would say it's hard to do these things when they're foreclosing on your house and you don't have somewhere to go. In fact, many of my friends who are in this spiritual teaching had that experience. One way of looking at that is a test. And the test is, can you embody all these 10 qualities regardless of what's happening? If we're living in a space of Da Guang Ming, just take that one, of divine light. We know that no matter what happens, the divine will always take care of things. The divine will always find the way to bring us through. May not always fit our pictures of how we'd like to go through, but we know that we're going to be okay because we're filled with divine light. And we actually never have to be unhappy. Do you feel like if you were filled with divine light, you'd be happy?
Yes.
Yeah? No? More than happy. More than happy. I keep having these conversations with people. I keep talking about pleasure or happy, and they're like, no, that's not a big enough word for it. So, Da happy. We're going to put Da happy on the list. Yeah, so you'd be in bliss regardless of what's happening. Right? So that's what we want to get to. Yes.
I don't know how to say in English. Maybe support to your teachings about Dai Guang Ming, because Dai Guang Ming is the first soul house. First soul house is grounding, right? Thank you.
Good, thank you. So Da Guang Ming, Master Sha has taught, is associated with the first soul house or first chakra. And how did you say that? It was so beautiful. The first soul house is grounding. Grounding. Mm-hmm. So when you're most grounded, and this is counterintuitive to how we usually think, when you're most grounded, you can have the most light.
And nothing can shake.
Nothing can shake it, yeah. Is that the theory of what?
You need a ground wire? For
electricity?
Do they go together?
Maybe. I don't actually know enough about how electricity works to answer that. Mm. Yeah. I must have skipped that class at school. I did skip a couple classes. But I did go to enough to know about RNA and DNA and subatomic particles. So here's what Master Sha teaches, that it's important to know all this to understand and apply Master Sha's teachings. Okay, so we're clear so far, right? Is this exciting? Is it fun? Is it a new way is it helping? New? Yeah, okay. So, Master Sha teaches from ancient Chinese wisdom the basis of Chinese medicine. Qi Dao, Shui Dao. Yi Dao, the capitals are mine. Yi Dao, Qi Dao. Xin Dao, Yi Dao. Ling Dao, Xin Dao. So Qi, I'm going to do this in another color. I'm going to use another frequency and vibration to write these. Purple frequency and vibration. Energy shui is blood. Qi, or energy, arrives. Then blood arrives.
In PCM, they said another way is blood follows chi.
Blood follows qi.
Yeah.
Blood follows qi.
Yeah. That's why when
It's actually, you know what, that's going to be an easier way for people to understand this. So those are the words, but we're going to give a loose translation that'll be easier to understand. Say it again.
blood follows chi. Blood follows
Blood
follows chi.
follows
Blood follows chi. not
qi, or energy.
But it's going the opposite direction.
See, I'm writing in Chinese. I must be getting my calligraphy better. I'm writing right to left.
In English.
Blood follows
Blood
From right to left.
follows
But not in
qi,
columns.
or energy.
Yeah.
Okay? Energy follows E, consciousness.
Yeah, I think it says.
Well, or E, or
E,
the
consciousness.
Mind, yeah, the mind leads
Mi-
the chi, and chi leads the blood.
Right.
So you could, I mean, that would, be a.
So you can say it either way. You can say blood follows qi, or qi leads blood. So energy follows consciousness. Consciousness follows the heart. Heart follows the soul. So so that's taking it from the level of blood, and blood here represents matter. So you can look at it from the level of matter to the soul. Another way of looking at that is the soul is the boss. And when your soul is in alignment with something, the heart will follow. When your heart is in line, the mind will be led. When the mind is in alignment, the energy will flow to it. And when the energy is in alignment, the physical will change, the matter. This is why soul healing works. You heal the soul first, and everything else follows from there. This is also how many traditions say everything in the physical world is created. It starts at the level of soul. Soul has a particular frequency and vibration, which is less dense than heart. It starts at the level of soul and then begins to form at the level of heart. Heart has a frequency and vibration that's higher than mind. So what is formed at the level of heart then takes shape in the mind or consciousness. The consciousness has a level that's above energy. So it starts to form in the mind, and then it forms in the level of energy. The energy has a level above matter. it then comes down and manifests in physical form. So think of something that you've created in your life. Somebody name something that you've created in your life. Matt?
A lot of displeasure.
Displeasure. Okay. So, that displeasure started at the level of soul. There was a disturbance in the soul. It then filtered down into your heart, into the level of your heart. From the level of the heart, and Master Sha would say you developed blockages. So you start with the soul blockages, which are karma blockages. Then they become heart blockages. Your heart gets hardened. Your heart closes. You get impurities in your heart. Then the mind. You make conscious your consciousness changes around what reality is. Right? Based on that, it moves into your energy changes, and the changes in energy create unpleasantness in your physical world. This is the secret of all creation. This is why we can manifest things. When I became very, very ill, when I was introduced to a virus that causes a chronic and life-threatening condition, I became very interested in how things are created, and I began to see how I create everything in my life, or at least I began to treat my life as though I create everything in my life either consciously or unconsciously. So everything is created from the soul level on down so that I can learn lessons, so that I can have particular experiences on Mother Earth. So now most of that was unconscious, and it can be from patterns that are lifetimes ago, right? So you can have karmic blockages that are 1,000 lifetimes ago that are showing up now as soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter blockages, which Master Sha calls soul, heart, and mind. What's the word for that?
Shen.
Shen. Energy, Qi, matter, Jing. Okay. So this is Master Sha's basic teaching, is if the soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter are clear and in alignment with the divine, the Tao, the source, you have no problems. You have no, what did you call them? Not disturbances. Displeasures. You have no displeasures. You're just in line with everything. And this is all flowing. It's all flowing through this. Right? If you block at any level, if a blockage occurs at any level, the flow stops. And it causes everything else to be out of balance, and it causes this flow to be out at every level. Make sense? Now, what did we say earlier? All we are is fields of frequency and vibration. Whether we're talking about the matter fields, the energy fields, the mind fields, the heart field, or the soul field. All we are is these walking fields of frequency and vibration. So either the frequency and vibration field is this beautiful puffy cloud, or it's full of blockages. Blockages being a lower frequency and vibration, and a negative frequency and vibration, a dark rather than light frequency and vibration. That's all that's happening. This is a diagram of reality. This is a deep spiritual truth. It actually is. It's actually what they say. Actually, if you read the Bhagavad Gita, this is what it says. If you read the Buddhist sutras, this is what they say. And what they say is, the way to change this is to get rid of these. When you get rid of these, all of this changes. Now, if these are just frequency and vibration, what do you think one of the most effective ways of transforming them is?
Get around high frequency and vibration.
So Matt said, get around high frequency and vibration, and Candy said,
transform all energy to light.
Transform all energy to light. So light comes in, and you bombard this with light. Highest frequency and vibration, Da Guang Ming. You're bombarding it from all levels. What happens when you have a cancer in your body and you bombard it with laser light?
Dissipate.
It dissipates. It breaks up into smaller and smaller bits until it's so small that it's insignificant to your body. Same thing on every level that we're doing with Da Guang Ming. We're breaking these up. We're breaking up the blockages the same way a laser light does. It's absolutely the same principle. The only difference between it is that we can't see it with our eyes, we can't see it with microscopes, and we can't measure it. Just like 200 years ago, we couldn't see microwaves, we couldn't measure microwaves, and now they cook lunch. 200 years from now, this is going to be taught in elementary school. I hope. I hope we'll get there. I really, really hope. If we do our job right, and we carry enough light and love into the future, this could be elementary science. And our kids would grow up going, oh, well, of course I can manifest anything I want. Okay. I know Matt might have had some things to say. I think Catherine, maybe you also. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And also, if you're on the chat room, and we're going to open the phone lines in just a minute.
So this will take 2 minutes, but
Yeah.
you were asking, us what we had created in our lives, and today, I was in Half Moon Bay, and as I drove down, I'm like, what's up with all the traffic? Like all these people, and they have these big, telescopic photographic lenses and everything, and the police were there, and I thought, well, maybe somebody was doing something at the airfield. It was an airport down there. And anyway, so I stopped my car, and I had to ask, and they're like, oh, no, there's this very rare bird that has come from Alaska, and for some reason it's alone, and it's just here at the airport. And I was thinking, oh, my God. I was like, oh, and I said, did you see that? Goes, so cute. It's not like all the other annoying seagulls. It's a different seagull, and it's even rare in Alaska, and it's here. Must have got blown here by the winds. And the whole time I was just laughing because I was thinking about how I ended up in San Francisco. And I know that feeling. I'm like, gosh, this poor bird, and all these ornithologists are there, and they're just taking photos. And then even the people I talked to, they're like, well, it was great this morning, but then all these people got in the way, and then you can't see it anymore. It's like a rock show or something, like rock star bird. And I later went to eat, and I was seated and sat next to these two people, and I didn't realize until halfway through the lunch that this guy was one of the ornithologists and or bird lovers. And I know it begs the question, does Fish and Wildlife even try to do anything to help this bird get back where it's supposed to? I'm like, it's going to have to change its diet and everything. But, it's just kind of interesting because that happens, like I just show up and it's always something like that. And I'm like, I know that feeling, and they're all just sitting there taking pictures. And I'm like, why don't you do something? I don't know. It's just kind of funny. But that happened today.
Oh,
so the Russ is seagull. It's this wonderful
story.
seagull. And I just sent it blessings that it would get home safely.
Seagull
No, it's from Alaska.
The Alaskan seagull. Yay. Jonathan Livingston Seagull lives.
It's so,
Well, my question had to do with, how would you damage the soul? And then you're saying karma. So then on some conscious level, you have to be acting out of accordance with the soul. Out of accordance with the soul to do damage to it. I mean, if you had a pure soul, and then you're going to accumulate negative karma.
Great question.
Then you wouldn't be acting in accordance with your soul.
Yeah, a very similar question came up in our Divine Healing Hands class last weekend. This is an essential piece of understanding everything. When we use the term soul with Master Sha, when an egg and sperm come together and life is created, the Tao is the way, the source, the creator. In Master Sha's teaching, I'll use the words he uses. Different teachers use different words. The Tao provides Yuan Shen, original soul. This is part of the Tao. The Tao is Yuan Shen is Tao. It is given to everyone, regardless of what your path is. If you're going to be the world's worst criminal, you still get Yuan Shen. If you're going to be the world's greatest saint, you still get Yuan Shen. You still get a piece of the Tao. What you do with the piece of the Tao is up to you. You, in this sense, is the, and I'm not sure about the spelling, Shushin. Or Shushin, no, I don't think it's XIU. I think it's SHI, Shushin. I think that's right. Please forgive me. I am learning the Chinese. It is right. Thank you, Master Marilyn. I am learning the Chinese and the Tao wisdom along with everyone else. I will always do my best to share what I know. So the Shushin, so this is original soul, is the translation. You could think of it as pure soul.
Is it equal to higher self?
You could say higher self, I think, for this. I think for those of us who were raised with that term or found it in the New Age movement, I think this is what we're talking about when we say higher self. Like, to me, this was always the soul. It's like, that's my soul. It's the part that's... How I would have said it coming before I met Master Sha is my soul is that part of me that's always connected to God, the creator, the source, and always will be, and nothing can change that. And when he described Yuan Shen, that made more sense to me as to what I understood soul to be. But in Chinese, of course, there are many souls. There's your system souls, organ souls, cell souls, cell unit souls. There's, a gazillion souls. And they're all one and everything's all one, but there's all, it's the yin and yang of it. On the one hand, everything's one. On the other hand, everything's separate because we live in yin-yang world. So Shushin is your soul that goes with you from lifetime to lifetime, that carries your karma. So what you're talking about is, how can my soul be damaged? It's all perfect and beautiful and part of the Tao. That's this soul. This soul is the one that experiences itself as separate from the Tao, that is caught in the yin-yang world, that is trapped by karma and is trying to escape and go back. And this weekend we'll talk about normal and reverse creation and how all that works more in depth. But that's, I think, where your question is coming from. Am I right?
That explains it perfectly.
Okay.
And I was also going to say then that would also be transmitted upon conception as well. And that would be the one that would carry the repeated lifetimes of karma along with it. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. Probably Master Peter could answer this better than I, because I don't actually know if it happens at conception or birth or I actually or before. I really don't. I don't know the answer to that personally. Master Marilyn, you've been around many teachings. Have you gotten?
What I think Master Shah has said is when the baby first releases its first cry.
First cry. Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the first breath, first cry.
What was the question?
When does the shushing come in?
Oh.
Yeah. Then the shushing. So. Okay. So this is where we're talking about soul, heart. You know, when you're born as a human being, you now have all these things: soul, heart, mind, energy, matter.
And that will
Let me just finish that thought. When you're in the Tao, you don't have all these things. Well, you do, but they're undifferentiated. Everything exists in the Tao, but it exists all as one. Here, we very clearly have a different body, a different heart, a different mind I have than you have, right? Not so much in the Tao. If you and I went to the Tao together, it'd be very hard to say where you end and where I start.
one is all and all is one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, so nevertheless, the Shurshen would carry the lifetimes of karma.
Right. 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 So this is in the yin-yang world where karma exists.
Yes, I'm searching for a good translation for Shur Shen. Would that be individual soul, differentiated soul? How would you translate that?
Body soul? Okay. I'll go with that. Body soul.
Body soul, okay.
Great. Thank you. So let me just pause for a moment. Any comments, questions in the chat room?
You want to open the phone line?
Yeah, let's do that. We haven't done that at all. Sorry, phone people. We've been on quite a roll.
Star 1.
It should be open. If anybody is on.
Hello.
Hi. Who's that?
Hi, this is Victoria.
Hello.
I have a question about the Ranshen. Is it the same, quality might not be the right word, but does everyone get, I'll use it anyway, the same quality Ranshen at birth? I mean, when it's given at conception? Or are there different layers or different, everything has so many layers. I'm wondering if it's like an absolute same for everyone? Or?
Well, I can tell you what I remember from the Immortal Tao about that. It says that the Yuanshan is the Tao, and everybody has a Yuanshan. Isn't that wonderful that everybody has a Yuanshan? But how come people can't see it? They can't see it because of pollution. They can't see it because the tunnel of their heart is closed. Enlighten the heart to see the true soul. Now, I can't say that to you in Chinese off the top of my head. Wish I could. But that's the essence of the English translation. So that's what the Immortal Tao tells us about it, which gives me the impression that everybody's got this beautiful, shining Tao source inside of them. What the Buddha says is that everyone and everything has Buddha nature. And what we ought to do is see the Buddha nature in each other and ourselves. That why we suffer is because we have lost sight of the Buddha nature. So I would take it from those and from my reading of the Bible that Christ is in all of us and we are all part of Christ consciousness, I would take it to mean that, yes, everybody has this beautiful, pure Tao inside of them, regardless of what our Shushen is getting up to. But that's my interpretation. That is not... what I can tell you of Master Sha's teachings is what I told you from the Immortal Tao. That's the only thing I know that I've heard him say that addresses that. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Good question.
I don't know the question, but another teacher said we have a big picture, that is the higher self, and we come, the water, a part of our soul, come to a body to experience things so we can evolve. That's why the Buddhist one, they still serve so they can go higher.
Yeah. I'm sure Master Sha, whenever I've asked Master Sha questions like that, he smiles and says, no conflict. I imagine that would be a question that Master Sha would say, no conflict. And then it's left for me to go figure out how those two things can be. Oh, that's the same thing. Yeah. Anyone else on the telephone have questions, comments, concerns?
No.
Good? Okay. Are you doing good on the phone? Is it making sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything making sense.
Wonderful.
Yes, thank you. And it's very clear sound.
Great.
As well as clear speaking explanation.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm happy. Okay. So, everything that we create, good and bad, and again, a lot of it we're not conscious of creating. And I think that is kind of, to me, that's a self-evident statement. Right? I just look at the world and I go, I sure didn't consciously mean to create everything I've created in my life, including every fight I had with my parents growing up, every time that I annoyed my brothers, every time I did something at school that set me apart from all the other kids and caused me to have, the experiences that I did. And a lot of the good things that I've created, I didn't consciously set out to do them. I just did them, right? Because it just seemed like what you're supposed to do.
But good or bad is your own perception. It could be, you think it is bad, it could be good, right?
So Candy's saying good and bad is your own perception. And I think from I don't think from Master Sha's perspective. I was going to say maybe from a perspective that's higher than mine, but I think Master Sha says good karma is serving, healing, blessing, enlightening. Bad karma is lying, stealing, cheating, killing, harming, taking advantage. So how I understand his teachings, there's some pretty clear delineations that he's gotten from the divine that say, yeah, there is good and bad in the yin-yang world. So I have to do this teaching. I was going to save this for the weekend, but we're just talking too much about it. I have to actually draw the circle. Okay. And I know many of you have seen this, so for many this will be a review and maybe a deeper understanding. Okay. Dao sheng yi, yi sheng er sheng san, san sheng wan wu. Wan wu gui san, san gui er gui yi gui dao. That much I do know in Chinese. So, Dao and Wan Wu. Dao is the ultimate source, the creator, the way, the truth. Wan Wu means literally 10,000 things. Which any big number, as I understand it, any big number in Chinese basically means everything. Right? It's kind of like in Hawaii, when you have barbecue chicken that's turned on a spit, it's called huli huli chicken, because you huli it more than once, and you say it twice, means more than once, and then you stop counting from there. So huli huli means you turned it a whole bunch of times. So huli huli. So 10,000 things, one wu. So what happened is, in the beginning was the Tao. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. So, the Tao is the source. Tao creates one. Or we could think of this as the oneness condition. Master Sha also calls this the Hundun. Hundun means blurred condition. So in the Tao is everything. Everything exists there as pure potential. It is the undifferentiated, uncreated world. Everything exists. The Tao creates one. Oneness condition is a blurred condition. If you see it with your third eye, you might see it like a gray fog. Everything exists in it. It's all one. It has not come into physical shape or form yet. One becomes two. At this point, you've entered the yin-yang world. The world and the world was separated into heaven and earth, dark and light. In yin-yang, things are separated from each other. Right? Dark is separated from light. Earth is separated from heaven. We now have a differentiated world, meaning that you can see the difference from this to that. That's what differentiated means. There's this and there's that. Before that, there is no this and that. So, once we enter in the yin-yang world, we now enter into the world of karma. In the Bible, they ate from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Knowledge of good and evil. We're now in yin-yang. Before that, no yin-yang. 2 creates 3. In traditional Taoism, this is heaven, earth, human being. In Master Sha, it's yin, yang, plus the Tao. Kind of that diagram I just showed you. Yin, yang, plus the Tao. This is where human beings live, here in the world of 10,000 things. Way far away from the Tao. Because we are in the world of everything that's been created. If you think of it like the Big Bang, everything's one. Now you've got stars, galaxies, planets, universes, everything, everything, everything. Moons, comets. Now you're way out here. So there's a phrase, the Tao is not far from us, but we are far from the Tao. Because we perceive, once we get here, we perceive this to be the reality, instead of perceiving this to be reality. That's what I was saying earlier that teachers say. When you trust the 5 senses, you're lost already. Because you think these 10,000 things are what's real. What is real in this room? That we have chairs and books and a whiteboard and a guy in a red sweater? Or that we have billions and billions of souls here offering love and blessings, giving Da Guang Ming. I cannot tell you, each person on the webcast, on the telephone, and in this room, everyone whose soul is connected to the teaching that's happening right now, I cannot tell you how much Guang Ming you are receiving. I don't have a measurement for that, but it is huge because they know we all came here asking for this. In the traditions I grew up with, the Bible, ask and you shall receive. The amount that we take in, and this goes back to what Anita was talking about, the amount we take in is based on how open our soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter is. So what are we going to do this weekend? We're going to open our soul further. We're going to open our heart further. We're going to open our mind further. We're going to open our chi further. We're going to open our body, our physical matter further. If you open everything completely, guess what you are? Light. Tong Ti To Ming. Your whole body is light. Clear, transparent light. Invisible light. Tao light. You become one with the Tao. Yeah, just breathe that in for a minute. This is actually the other side of the circle. We're going back through our perceptions, coming back to the three, yin, yang, and Tao joining as one. Going back to two, to just pure yin, yang, back to the oneness condition, back to the Tao. Now tonight we've had a lot of talk, so it's been a lot of mind. So our consciousness is going back to Tao consciousness. But what happened when everybody just breathed there for a moment is that our energy, our chi, and our soul went back to the Tao. Let's do a practice. So stay in that condition. Close your eyes. Dear soul, mind, and body of Guang Ming, we love you, honor you, and bow down to. Fill our soul, heart, mind, our chi, our matter, our jing, with Guang Ming. We open ourselves fully to receive your love and light. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guang Ming, 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 Guang Ming Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming, Da Guang Ming. Relax. So relax. Feel the frequency and vibration. And be aware of a ball of golden light in your zhong, the back half of your lower abdomen. This is a ball of Da Guang Ming, greatest light, Tao light, source light, divine light. Each time you breathe, the light becomes brighter and more concentrated. Each time you breathe in, the light expands. So this ball of light is getting bigger in your lower abdomen. And it's growing beyond your lower abdomen, filling up the front of your abdomen, up through your diaphragm, down through your hips. This ball of light is continuing to grow, growing faster and faster. It grows up through your whole torso. And it starts going down through your arms and your legs, up through your neck into your head, down into your hands, down into your feet. And the ball of light grows so it's all around you. Comes out your head, out the tips of your fingers, out the tips of your toes, and forms a great ball of light all around you. And you're sitting in a ball of light. Da Guang Ming. And still this light continues to grow. And it grows out from you and fills up the whole room that you're in. And the light continues to get bigger. The ball of light gets brighter and brighter, more intense and bigger as it surrounds the whole building that you're in. It goes beyond the building to the whole neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is in a bubble of light. The light gets brighter and brighter, more and more intense, as it grows bigger and bigger, surrounding your whole city or town. And it continues to grow, growing at an amazingly rapid pace now. Growing all around your state, your region, your province. Ball of light around the whole province. And it continues to grow, putting your whole nation in a bubble of light. Each bubble finds its own nation, surrounding the nation that you're in. Da Guang Ming for your whole country. And this light continues to get more and more intense, brighter and brighter, and it goes out around your whole hemisphere. your half of the world. And it grows brighter and brighter and more intense till it's surrounding the whole world. All of Mother Earth in a bubble of light. And it continues to grow brighter and brighter, more and more intense, as it goes out around the moon, encompassing the whole orbit of the moon. And it continues to grow brighter and brighter, more and more intense, as it grows out around the nearest planets, growing out to surround the sun, the farthest planets of our solar system, all the planets of our solar system, their moons, everything from the sun out to the dwarf planets or ice rings, whatever they were calling Pluto and its friends these days. From the center of our solar system out to the edges of our solar system. A ball of golden light. And from there, the golden light keeps going out, surrounding all of the neighbor solar systems, until it's as large as our galaxy, the whole Milky Way. And from our galaxy, it goes out around the neighboring galaxies, till it spreads to the edge of our universe. And from our universe, it spreads out to the edge of countless universes. And we're floating in space in an enormous bubble of light through many universes. And in these universes is all kinds of light, visible and invisible. Light that we can see with our third eye, light that is even invisible beyond our third eye. Rainbow, golden, rainbow, purple, crystal, beyond crystal. Visible and invisible light. All different kinds of light in all different kinds of universes. We just float. Now the edges of the light start coming back in towards us. And as the ball of light pulls in, it brings with it this light from the farthest universes. All kinds of light, seen and unseen. It brings in and concentrates in as it comes down through the countless universes, down to our universe. Bringing in all the kinds of light in our universe. Bringing all these spectrums, all the frequency and vibration, concentrating down through our universe to our galaxy. And all of this frequency and vibration comes concentrating in, down through our galaxy to our solar system. This ball of light continues to pull all of this light in. An amazing concentration of light through our solar system, back down to the level of our moon and the orbit of the moon, and back down to the level of the Earth's atmosphere. Back down through our atmosphere, down to the level of our hemisphere, our continent, our country, our province, our city, our neighborhood, pulling all that light from the furthest galaxies down into the building we're in, into the room we're in, coming down and resting right around our body, within us and around us, in a bubble of concentrated light. Universal light, 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 universal light. Now the light comes into us, concentrating down inside of us, through our heads, arms, and feet, down into our torso, down into our abdomen, down into a ball of enormous, powerful light, concentrated in our jom. And take a deep breath into that light and let it go. And again, deep breath into that light. On the third one, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, gently allow your eyes to come open. I welcome those who are on the webcast. If you'd like to share with us about your experience, please put it in the chat room. Anybody want to say anything about your experience with that? I'm seeing some very peaceful people. Master Marilyn, will you come forward when you...
Pardon me?
Would you come forward so that people can see you while you talk?
Okay.
Thank you.
What I became aware of is not only the blessings, but all the messages and codes present in each color of the spectrum. But then, as we went out, it was sort of like window shopping on the way out, and on the way back, some of that had become part of us. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that insight. It's true. Each frequency and vibration has a different message and code. Purple light says something different to us than red light does. Crystal light and beyond crystal light say something different to us than red or purple light. They all have messages. It's beautiful. And colorless light, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with beyond crystal light.
Master Sha, when he talks about the spiritual gifts, he talks about using golden light, rainbow light, purple light, crystal light, and then he talks about beyond crystal light. And that's really about all he says about it. It's beyond crystal. I think he is called, I'm not sure if he's put that in the category of invisible light. Yeah. I think so. I couldn't swear to that. Somebody who caught that message better than I might be able to say. But it's a level beyond crystal. Yeah. And then invisible is beyond that. This Master Marilyn's recollection. Yeah. Okay. So there are infinite frequencies of light. And, literally beyond. Infinite means there is no end to them, because there's no end to the Tao. And each of those can heal us in different ways. What they're telling me right now is, if we could harness all of the light in the universes, we could cure every disease on earth. We just don't know how to do that yet. But just like there is no blockage that enough love cannot transform, there is no blockage that enough light, or the proper kind of light, can't transform. There is no darkness that the light cannot illuminate. So another word for blockage would be darkness. So why does Guang Ming heal everything and transform everything? Because the only thing that needs transformation is darkness. And the only thing darkness needs to be transformed into is light. So Tuesday, somebody asked, I don't really get Guang Ming. And Heaven told me, answer that question Friday. So I promised I would show up and I would answer that question Friday. So this is what divine source Guang Ming, actually the essence of Guang Ming, wanted me to communicate tonight. And I've done my best with my understanding and the messages I'm receiving to share with you really the power and significance of Guang Ming, to help us all, and I'm learning as I'm teaching, to help us all understand why is Guang Ming important? How is it that Guang Ming can heal can prevent illness, can rejuvenate, meaning turn back time in our body, change the message of our cells from growing older to growing younger, rejuvenate, prolong life, keep our cells from deteriorating, keep our systems, our organs, our cells from breaking down, and transform all aspects of life. How can light transform your relationship? How can light transform your finances, your business, your church, our spiritual community, this temple? This temple is built of light. The real temple here is light. It isn't this. We are sitting in a light temple. And I tell you, when I see that, it is beautiful. It's like beyond Oz in the Wizard of Oz. You know Wizard of Oz? When they finally make it there and they look over the hill and there's that Emerald City. It's like that. Like that's what I think they were trying to make in the movie, right? Is these temples that exist in heaven that are now being given to earth. I used to think when they said heaven will come to earth, that we'll see heaven on earth in the second coming, which is what I understand to be what we're going through. I used to think it meant, oh, everyone will be nice to each other, like they're supposed to be. Right? I mean, I was like, that would be, to me, that was my concept. That would be heaven on earth if everybody just behaved the way Jesus told everybody they should behave. Mm-hmm. You know? It's like, that would be pretty heavenly. But what I got somewhere after Master Sha downloaded the first temple in Boulder, because I saw the divine sitting in that temple. I saw 3 thrones, and I saw, and I hesitate to say see, because it wasn't like a movie, but there was some combination of seeing, feeling, sensing, knowing, and perceiving with my third eye of 3 thrones and 3 presences sitting in those thrones who were there to stay as long as that was a temple. And I knew it. And I know that's what's here. And what I get is heaven needs to come to earth in this form to balance and harmonize Mother Earth, humanity, and all souls. And it's all light. It is all Da Guang Ming. It exists on that level. The only difference between this level and so let's give another example. Here's my physical hand, right? You all see a physical hand. Dear soul, mind, and body of divine healing hands, please turn on and give a divine healing hand blessing to every participant in this webcast. Everyone, every soul that is hearing the words or seeing the images of this webcast, including the computers, the chairs, the buildings, every soul. Blessing begin. How? Thank you, Master Sha. Thank you, Divine. Thank you, Divine Healing Hands. Countless shadows, countless shadows, countless shadows. Thank you, Ultimate Divine Infinity Committee. Countless shadows. countless bad habits, countless bad habits. So the difference between my 5 fingers, bones, tendons, ligaments, blood, and God's hand in my hand is a difference of light. Now you see it on the Divine Healing Hands cover.
Behind you.
Thank you. For those who don't have third eye, that's what it looks like. It's a difference of light. So the 4 phrases in Soul Over Matter, and we'll go into these more deeply this weekend, the flow that Master Marilyn gave, the 4 phrases that go with Da Guang Ming. I want to make sure I say them correctly. Si Da Guang Ming, Wo Zai Dao Guang Zhong, Dao Guang Zai Wo Zhong, Tong Ti To Ming. The 4th is greatest light. I am within Tao light. Tao light is within me. Head to toe, transparent light. My hand, when I gave the blessing, became that transparent light. It became God's light. Go into Da Guang Ming, become a total light body. Let every cell, every wave, every particle become divine light. Become divine frequency and vibration. Tao, frequency and vibration. Source, frequency and vibration. When that happens, the darkness disappears. Just like when you walk in a room and turn on a light, the darkness disappears. The soul darkness disappears. The heart darkness disappears. The mind darkness disappears. The energy darkness disappears. The matter darkness disappears. It just dissipates. It goes back into the nothingness from which it came. And all that is left is light. Pure, transcendent Da Guang Ming. Pure, transcendent light. We can allow ourselves to float on that light. Our body, chuckle, chuckle, our body becomes lighter. Our energy becomes lighter, more infused with light. Our mind becomes lighter. So it's okay to have thoughts while this is happening. Just allow your thoughts to float on the light. It's okay to have feelings, heart sensations. Just allow them to float on the light. Allow your soul to float on the light. Si Da Guang Ming, Guo Zai Dao Guang Zhong, Dao Guang Sai Wo Zhong, Tong Ti To Ming. Leave your eyes closed, stay in that condition, and Master Marilyn and I will offer a blessing of Da Guang Ming to help you experience that even more. I am in the heart of Tao Light. Tao Light is in the heart of me. I am in the mind of Tao Light. Tao Light is in the mind of me. I am in the soul of Tao Light. Tao Light is in the soul of me. thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Master Sha. Thank you, the Divine, the Tao, the Source. Thank you, all holy beings who are here, especially the ones who spoke through Master Marilyn, who gave the messages of tonight, who gave the teaching, who gave the blessings. For all the expressions of Da Guang Ming that make up this temple. For all who have brought their light tonight. Countless bow downs, countless bow downs, countless bow downs. So we're going to have another amazing weekend, because that's what we do here in San Francisco. It's our joy and our delight to do so. You will have various guides through the weekend. Master Marilyn and I will both be here through parts of the weekend. Master Marilyn will actually be here through the whole weekend. I'll be here for parts of the weekend. Master Jeffrey, Master Janice will be here for parts of the weekend. Master Robert will be here for parts of the weekend. Each of us with one purpose, to serve your soul journey and help you have the deepest possible wisdom, knowledge, and practice of applying Da Guang Ming to transform anything that's left up to this point in your life that needs transformation, moving forward into 2017 to create the most beautiful year for you. Because everything is made of light. Every thought, every word, every action, every relationship, every business transaction, everything we do. So that's what we will create for 2017. If you haven't done so already, as Master Sha says, I'm not going to ask you to, I'm going to tell you to. Don't miss. The divine light is coming through strong. Join the webcast, join in person. This will be recorded. It will be put up at drshawsf.com. If you don't know about drshawsf.com, our wonderful Jason, who just came in, and he's busy working in the back, created for us the ability for you to see our teachings after they've been recorded. So all who register will have access to this to go back again. This evening will be put up there. Anybody can go watch it there for free. You can tell your friends if you enjoyed this evening. Tell them, go to drshawsf.com and watch this. It'll be up, I would guess, within 2 or 3 days. And they can see it if they missed it. But tell them not to miss the weekend. If you can't be there to watch it in person, you can register. And the ones that have an honor fee, you pay the honor fee by calling us and registering, or by registering online at drshaw.com/events. So you go to Dr. Shaw Events, you register for the weekend, and you will receive an email that gives you the username and password for this particular workshop. We already have up there Master Rulin's workshop, and you can register for that at any time by calling here, and we'll register you, and then we'll send you the username and password. And for this weekend, you can do it by registering online or by calling us here, and we'll get you all set up. That means you can come in person. Those who come in person can bring a guest who's a new person, or you can watch by webcast. Everyone who's registered will have the access to the video on demand later to watch it at your leisure. So if you have to miss pieces this weekend, or even if you know you want to be in the workshop, but you already made plans this weekend, and you're just like, oh, but I want to go, you can register, and as soon as the video is up on, because it takes a while, after the weekend is done, then our team needs a little bit of time to get it up online. And then we send you the information and you can watch it at your leisure. So that's how it works. We're very grateful to Jason and the AV team. They've been creating many miracles, bringing much light to our ability to share with the world. I want to especially thank Master Marilyn for bringing through such beautiful, profound wisdom. Everything that I taught came out of the flow that Master Marilyn did, and that as she was flowing, the team that guides us was telling me, okay, now you need to elaborate on this, this, and this. And then they were telling me what I need to elaborate, what I need to say. So it was a delight for me to share this. It really opened my understanding, my awareness, my experience of divine light. I think we all had a different experience of divine light tonight, and that's what we're going to keep doing through the weekend. Greatest gratitude to Master Robert, who always, here's a man who can clear Shin-Chi-Jing blockages, who has the authority to give crown chakra blessings, to transmit divine endowed, divine Jinduns, the way he serves is to humbly answer customer service questions and take care of people's issues that need addressing. I mean, if that's not Da Chinbei, and listening from the heart. Yeah, Candy is saying, and he also listens from the heart. He could be up here teaching, he could be delivering the services. He's there humbly serving in another way. So I want to give my greatest gratitude to Master Robert, to all the divine channels of California who are serving California each in their own way and giving love each in their own way, to all the divine channels in training, all the divine healing hands healers, all our Love, Peace, Harmony World family members, everyone who shows up for these events, because each of you brings your light. Tonight wouldn't have happened without this particular constellation of people. Each one brought our light, our consciousness, our soul, heart, mind, body, energy, and matter, and it shapes what happens. So with greatest gratitude. So that's what we mean when we sing our thank yous. Yes, I think we should take, I know it's at the hour, but we're going to do it really up-tempo. We're going to sing all of our thank yous.
And there's a food in the Pure Land and
Yeah,
the Dao
yes,
Chang.
yes.
Yeah.
So equally for the Dao Chang presence, all the presences in the Pure Land room, all the light beings who make up this temple and who live here. Countless bow downs, countless bow downs, countless bow downs. Really, really love you, Master Sha. Really, really love you, Master Sha. Really, really love you, Master Sha. Really love you, Master Sha. Really love you, Master Sha. Really, really love you, the divine. Really, really love you, the divine. Really, really love you, the divine. Really love you, the divine. Really love you, the divine. Really, really love you, the Tao. Really, really love you, the Tao. Really, really love you, the Tao. Really love you, the Tao. Really love you, the Tao. Really, really love you, the Source. Really, really love you, the Source. Really, really love you, the Source. Really love you, the Source. Really love you, the Source. Really, really love you all, saints. Really, really love you all, saints. Really, really love you all, saints. Really love you all, saints. Really love you all, saints. Really, really love you all, divine channels. Really, really love you all, divine channels. Really, really love you all, divine channels. Really love you all, divine channels. Really love you all, divine channels. Really, really love you all, volunteers. Really, really love you all, volunteers. Really, really love you all, volunteers. Really love you all, volunteers. Really love you all, volunteers. Really, really love you, everyone. Really, really love you, everyone. Really, really love you, everyone. Really love you, everyone. Really love you, everyone. For the altar here, for the altar in the inner temple, for all participants' altars wherever you keep them, we transmit from heaven to the food on the altars divine vitamins, minerals, proteins, amino acids, divine nectar, divine love. Transmission. Then we offer that food first back to heaven, to Master Sha's soul, to all the saint souls who've been with us, all the heaven's animals, heaven's generals and soldiers, the souls of this temple, all the souls who are blessing us. We love you, honor you, bow down to you. Please eat first. And we use soul language to offer it. Then we say 3 times together, love you, love you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gong song, gong song, gong song. Gong song means respectfully return, so all of us go to our rightful place in our own universes. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Love you. Bye-bye.